Did you enjoy your refreshment break?
Yes.
All right. Let us continue this transmission in the following way. We will discuss at the moment a few different kinds of things. This is all lumped under the idea of our title, Today is Yesterday's Tomorrow. That meaning that all time is one, it is all here and now. And what we will speak about that regards the concept you call the future is, nevertheless, I remind you, actually existing in the present, and that there is no such thing as a prediction of the future. Once again, we say there is only the sensing of the energy that exists at the present time the prediction is made. That is what is being sensed, is the present energy. If that energy does not change in any significant way, then what has been sensed is representative of that which will unfold and manifest. If, however, the energy does change, which is sometimes changed by the prediction itself, then the energy may take a different course and something different will occur. This does not mean that any kinds of predictions are necessarily wrong if they do not come to pass. It may simply be that they were sensing an energy that has changed, since all predictions are of the present energy. The reason that this is so is because empirically, fundamentally, there really is no such thing as the future, just as there really is no such thing as the past. Everything is simultaneously coexistent, and you cannot actually prove the existence of either the future or the past. But wait a minute, Bashar. We have evidence from the past. Do you now? And exactly where is that evidence? Oh, here in the present. That's correct. And that's the only place it exists, is in the present. And what you call the past is simply another dimension, a different frequency, a different wavelength of experience that exists right now alongside your own present. There may be a cross-connection of continuity being made to make it appear as if there is a linear connection from past to present to future. But that continuity connection, that continuity illusion, is being created from the present, always. So when you say, here is evidence of the past, what you are saying is, you have created a linkage, a bridge, a connection, to a simultaneously concurrent reality in such a linear space-time manner as to create the illusion of cause and effect, because it serves a purpose for you to experience the idea of the process of creation from a beginning to an ending. That's all you're doing. But there is no actual proof of the existence of the past, because there is no such thing. That is why it is also easy to cross-connect to other lives, because they all exist now. And thus then, if it truly was that they were in the past, or truly was that they were in the future, you would not be able to really make that linkage. There is only one moment. It is now. Everything happens in the now. Everything that appears to be a different moment is actually a different perspective of the same now. A different point of view, a different angle, a different picture, a different photograph. But it is all part and parcel of the same infinite now, in which everything exists and everything occurs. So, in terms of what we are about to say about things that may unfold, again, remember, we are reading the energy as it exists now. But it is always your world and always your choice to allow the momentum of many of these things to continue, to allow the inertia of many of these things to unfold, or to choose a different course and create a new reality experience that you can shift to. When we talk about the idea also of everything being now, the idea again is to remember, or we would like to reinforce the notion that you keep in mind that all changes are total changes in the sense that you shift from one reality to another. You shift, in a sense, your point of view, because you already exist in all the realities that you're ever going to exist in. So it's not even a matter of actually changing from one reality to another. It's an issue more of closing your eyes, closing your focus in one reality and opening them in another in which you already exist, or at least a version of you does. The idea of changing is never that you will change anyone else, never that you will change the world, not even in a sense that you'll actually change yourself. It is simply that you shift to a reality whose vibration is already reflective of the reality vibration you now prefer, and start looking with your consciousness through the eyes of the version of you that already exists in a reality reflective of what that version of you represents. So you've never changed anyone, never changed the world. The world that you used to look through the eyes of still exists, always will, and will always experience itself as it is. But you can experience a new earth, a new reality, depending upon your vibration. And that's why we say, all you have to do to change the world is change yourself. Because you will never actually change the world. You will only change from one perspective to another. But that will appear and feel and be experienced as a new world. And all the individuals who have representations in that world, you will experience. Individuals who do not have representations in that world, you will not experience. It is as simple as that. For a while, you may continue to experience the idea of people who have representational vibrations that are not necessarily fully aligned with the world that you prefer. But that's also because you are not fully aligned yet with the world that you prefer. And so there will be, as you say, a potpourri, a mixed bag for a while, and you will still for a while be capable of experiencing people who do not necessarily vibrate in accord with you. But that's still for the purpose of giving you the option to reflect off of them what you are by seeing what you are not. For many of you still understand what you are in that way. But the more and more you understand who you are for its own sake, without necessarily needing to see a counter offer of what you are not, more and more of you who do not need that will no longer see that. You will simply find yourself one day interacting pretty much only with the individuals who are similar in nature, similar in vibration. And you may scratch your heads and wonder where all the other people went. But they will still be on the world that you no longer look through. And they will still be living their lives as they wish to, as they have chosen to. And it's as simple as that. And neither, in terms of validity, is more important or better or right or wrong than the other. They are all part and parcel of the infinite choices within all that is. Allow them to all be valid. Allow all to make the choices that they need to make. And by doing so, it will be that much easier for you to allow yourself to experience the reality that you prefer. Now, as we read the energy now, many things are changing, many things are shifting, and this is what we perceive at the moment. You have begun to experience the breakdown of some of your economic systems. You have begun to experience some shifting in your political worlds. This will continue. And again, as we have always said, the idea is not to change the old systems, but to have new systems in place, ready to go when the old systems fall apart. That will be part and parcel of taking action in the new world, in the new way, creating that vibration that is representative of the reality you wish to take yourself to. So that when you shift, and in that shift, experience the old ideas falling away, falling apart, crumbling all around you, you will have the capacity to attract to yourself new systems, either invented by you or others that you will attract yourself to be able to facilitate the new ideas, the new perspectives, the new ways of doing things in the new reality you will have shifted to, which can then be implemented rapidly. Now, as it stands in this moment, what you are doing with your economic structure may carry you for about 5 of your years. Then there will be what you call another collapse. But at that time, in 5 years, there will be other systems that can rapidly replace what has then been washed away. So, do not fear. Never approach these things with fear, for that will determine what reality you experience. So obviously what we are perceiving and what we are sharing with you is part and parcel of the reality, of the vibration of your preferred reality, which does not mean there will not be change, sometimes even very dramatic change. But remember, as we said, an event is not an event until you have responded to it. So the idea is not so much exactly what happens, but how you respond to it that makes it the event you will experience it to be. So respond well to all these things, and they will serve you well in the new reality. Respond negatively, and that's the reality you will remain in. So in 5 years, you will see, most likely, the opportunity to reinvent some very fundamental economic principles on your planet that will begin to take you, not right away, but will begin to take you toward an understanding of the true worth and the true value of the individual members of a society, which will ultimately lead to an economy actually based on the actual skills and talents of the individuals in a society, which will be in that context uncorruptible. The idea in that sense will be that as you approach the concept of a global organization, it will be one that allows borders and barriers to be crossed and to be dissolved, because it will be the skills and talents of individuals that will cross those borders to be of service to others who need their services. And as you begin finding more and more teams of individuals being sent around the world to aid and assist those that require their assistance, you will suddenly begin to see the threads being woven of the tapestry of a new economy. And bit by bit, within a few decades, you will realize that no longer will you require an artificial symbol to represent the idea of value and exchange. The exchange between people will be sufficient, and the reason that this will work is because it will also go hand in hand with the idea that within the next 2 or 3 decades, you will also create the idea of absolute, unlimited free energy. And once you achieve that, you will find that almost nothing stands in your way of becoming a unified society. Now, between now and then, there may be a few interesting surprises. Again, as we have talked about, more and more will be there an increase in the awareness of the existence of extraterrestrial societies, beginning on and around your year of 2015. There will be more knowledge that such things exist. And again, as it expands, ultimately to your year of 2033, when it will be, in that sense, open contact that will have occurred between your civilization and the first civilization to make open contact with your world, that we in our ancient language have called the Shalanaya, but which they in their own language are called the Yahyel. You will see more of their ships here and there, and they will become more and more blatant allowing you the opportunity to respond in a manner that allows your society to know that you are ready more and more every day for such open communion, open contact with other civilizations. This, of course, will be based on the idea that you're ready and willing for open contact among your own civilization, among yourselves, among your own people. The willingness to take the actions necessary to receive the downloads and take the actions necessary to create more expansive systems, more expansive opportunities, more expansive services, more expansive inventions, more expansive awareness about the nature of the structure of existence, and apply that in your day-to-day reality. Politically, you will find, over the course of that same 3 decades, many new changes will come about. Somewhere after your year of 2025, but before your year of 2033, it is quite likely, as we read the energy now, that there will be formed for the first time what you call a North American Union, similar in some senses to what the European Union is attempting to do, but it will be slightly different. And more of these large conglomerate unions will begin to appear around your planet until such time as after 2033 they can be linked and unitized in large conglomerate sections, which ultimately then, over time, will lead to a coordination and organization that will be global in nature, but will be of service that benefits humanity. One moment. As has been said, opportunities for sightings will increase. More downloads will occur, that contact is imminent. The literalness of the sightings may or may not occur in your upcoming next couple of days, and also again in February of your new year. One moment. To allow for some of these transitions to take hold, take root, without our interference, we will once again go offline for the transition of your present to new year. Somewhere in and around your December 15th, and we will reconnect once again after your new year has begun. One moment. The channel and the original agreement that was made within the oversoul, of which he and I are aspects, was that there would be a delivery of information for no less than 9 of your orbits. We are now approaching a time in what you call 2 orbits that will represent 3 times the original agreed upon amount. Once it reaches its 27th year, it will then take a different form. For the next 3 years thereafter, until your year of 2013. We will not instruct at this time what this different form will be, but it will be by our calling alone in terms of how it shall occur. In the manner of the channeling as you understand it now, to no society to whom we have channeled does any channeling in one form last more than the length of an Sasanian lifetime. But because our dimension is 10 times faster than yours, our lifespan of 300 years translates into your reality as 30 years. So when the 30th year occurs in 2013, there will be a transition of how this information is delivered. There will be a transition, as we said, in the 27th year. There will be a difference in the last 3 years until the 30th year, and after that there will be a complete transformation of how this information is delivered. But it will go hand in hand and be part and parcel with many of the changes that are upcoming, and will represent many of the new systems that are required for implementation in terms of the educational systems on your world. And it will dovetail, as you say, into some of those educational systems and lay the foundations for new interactive educational systems that shall be widespread in the years to come after 2013. One moment. We may now open up to a variety of questions and exchanges that are representative either of the idea of taking action on your joy, or that which is representative of any clarification of belief systems that you believe will aid and assist you in becoming more and more of who you are and acting on your dreams. You may begin this portion of the transmission.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
How are we?
We are fine. How are we?
Perfect. Thank you for asking. Okay, so I kind of want to talk about downloads.
Downloads.
Yes.
All right.
Last night,
Yes.
as the channel session was going on, the lights kept flickering, and I felt like a string being pulled from my third eye.
Yes.
Can you tell me what was going on there?
The idea, again, is that we were talking about the pineal gland, which you euphemistically refer to as the third eye. Thus, the idea is that there was more activation of that particular energy center of the body, and when that energy center of the body is more highly activated, it expands one's ability to perceive into other dimensions. But doing so actually also expands the electromagnetic field around the body. It can, for a while, until stabilized, be a little bit erratic. And when interacting with other electromagnetic fields, of which there are a plethora on your planet, it may cause contrary waves that will cause feedback loops in some of the existing electromagnetic systems that are in your immediate proximity, so as to cause fluctuations in their fields.
Would like a cell phone be interrupting that then, for example?
It can.
Okay.
Or it can be interrupted by the expanding field from your body.
Okay.
Or even activated.
Was that why the lights were flickering then?
In some sense, yes.
Okay. And then later on that night, around a little after 3 a.m., my pineal gland was activated.
Yes.
And I was listening to a new ITOM lab track that was still in creation. And basically I had some incarnational experiences, and I felt all of my chakras basically align and vibrate.
All right.
And I felt like, my whole body basically kind of leave itself. But
your body left itself?
Well, I left my body.
Well, in a sense, you expanded beyond the parameters of your physical form.
Yes. So, with all that being said, I've actually, with the incarnation thing, I've come to find on my own one of the incarnations called Ion, and I was just hoping you could maybe expand on maybe what had happened last night, what I should be picking up on.
The idea is that it was a template of a future, what you call a future incarnation. The template being shown to you, given to you the frequencies thereof to match in order to move forward and toward that vibration.
Okay, and how can I, from what had happened, put that into action? Spend more time in the non-physical planes, or meditate on that more?
How does your imagination wish to put it into action?
Through creativity.
Well, then, do so.
Okay. Could you tell me a little bit more about Ion?
It is a being of spontaneity, of spontaneous creation, that is highly technological in the sense that it is strongly connected to electromagnetic fields and their instantaneous manipulation.
Cool.
There's that temperature again.
Yes. Okay, so what about with TAVE, ion and TAVE have a relationship. Can you tell me about that?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Except to say this. One pulls you to the future, and one grounds you to the earth.
Interesting.
So that you have a complete circuit and won't short yourself.
Okay, one last question. It's involving synchronicity.
Yes.
My buddy Tom, I haven't seen him for like a month or two, and when I saw him yesterday,
yes,
we have the same bracelet.
Yes.
We have the same pair of shoes.
Yes.
And we both have crystal necklaces. He's got moldavite, and I've got a quartz.
Yes.
What's going on there?
Synchronicity. Synchronicity being that you are operating on similar wavelengths and therefore will reflect that through similar expressions.
Okay, so basically like the whole, if you drop a glass theory and, you know, all the different particles are all a part of the one, we're basically kind of two shards that were closer together that kind of broke apart in that sense?
No. The idea being, of course, that on a certain level everything is one, and all of you are shards of the one. Yes. But in the terms in which you meant it, synchronistically, the idea is that if you are vibrating on a similar wavelength, then you will experience similar things simultaneously.
Oh, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.